3, 2, 1. Hey folks, welcome to Bouncing Brains. I'm Sean Hatfield.
And I'm Freddy G. And once again, we are back with another episode of the Bouncing Brains. And today we are going to talk about one of the greatest vices in the whole wide world. And it's not marijuana.
It's masturbation.
No, it's not masturbation either. Even though that's a great sport, but it's not fingering either. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck my cameraman keep doing this shit. I don't know what he's into. But I wanted to talk about cigars and their point. I don't know if you've ever smoked a cigar. Have you ever experienced?
Many times.
But let me ask you this question, because everybody thinks that when you mention cigars, people, the first thing they think about are Black and Milds and Swisher Sweets. Those are not real cigars. Like, those are ghetto, fabulous, hood, rich type of tobacco smoking products. I'm talking about like a real cigar, like a Cohiba. If you want to go a little cheaper because you're on a broke end, like myself, when I used to smoke cigars, you can go with a Garcia and Vega. Those are very decent for the price that you get them at. So you have had a cigar.
Yeah, probably not listening, but shout out to my old boy Fernie. Took me down to Los Flores and showed me where they sold the good Cohibas for $5.
You found Cohibas for $5?
Hey, they may have
but
been
real ones?
I have no idea, but it was the most delicious cigar I've ever had.
Yeah. So,
we sat in that little kicker bar down there with the mechanical bull, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, dude, I walked out of there with a head high, like I had just smoked like a half ounce of grass, man.
Yeah. Now it's cool if I say this, right? Like our cameraman.
Yeah, bro, go ahead, call me out, dude.
Our cameraman doesn't really. I'm not sure if he doesn't really understand like the whole process of the point behind a cigar. First of all, when you have a real cigar, you are not, and I will repeat again, you are not supposed to inhale. A cigar is more of the experience and the taste. That's why it's like whiskey, or it's like fucking cognac. Well, I mean, you drink that shit, you don't spit it out, but it's more of a experience, more of a feeling, and it's the taste.
Look, let's put it this way, man. Like, you brought up like whiskey and cognac, man, and like, don't get me wrong, the first time you were introducing someone to good whiskey and good cognac, you want to give it to them in a proper glass, a snifter. Like, even tequila, dude. Like I love taking people who say they don't like tequila and showing them.
First of all, are they fucking me?
Hmm?
Are they fucking me? Is what? Because you're talking about taken over with a nice glass and a nice. I mean,
dude, you never just like, all right, like you're taking somebody like that you know, and you're like, hey man, you have never experienced this beautiful thing in life. Like, I'm gonna put a little bit of effort into this. You know what I mean? You get a good bottle of whiskey. You get a proper set of glasses. You're like, we're gonna.
What's your choice in whiskey?
My favorite whiskey
that you could drink every day if you had it available.
Oh, that's a good point, because one of the reasons it's my favorite is the only bottle of whiskey I have ever killed an entire bottle in one night and not had a hangover was Bushmills 10-year single malt.
I can see that.
Yeah, I believe it was.
I've only had that once, I think.
Dude, here's the thing, man. All right, people talk about like the difference between Scotch and like Irish whiskey, and like they talk about peat and all that shit. Don't get me wrong, I can't stand peat myself, man. Scotch is good, but like sometimes they get a little too far up their own ass. You get some of that fucking Inverness or whatever that shit is, man. My point being is, the mark of fucking like good Irish whiskey is that triple distilled, man. Like, you gotta fucking distill. It's like good vodka.
Because it's like it's well, yeah, like you just said, it's been filtered, like tripled, and then those that are doubled and tripled. Sorry,
I'm sorry. Does it work with like bourbon? Like, what's the difference between like bourbon?
Bourbon is you age it in a burnt barrel.
Yeah.
So it's charcoal filtered, basically.
Yeah.
So
And
you're
that's
getting a little bit of a purer product
And
with
that-
really good bourbon.
Are those the only three like categories as far as like whiskey, Scotch?
No, you
got
got
bourbon.
rye. You've got what do you call it? Like pure whiskey, like what am I looking for? Moonshine. You know what I mean? White lightning type stuff.
That's like whiskey.
Yeah, that's whiskey,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's just unaged whiskey. And you there are people who can do amazing fucking shit
Now,
with it, man.
the other reason as to again, and it's a preference thing, the other reason as to why I would prefer an aged whiskey or like a barrel bourbon whiskey is because when you age it, it again. I feel that it makes it stronger, but it smooths out the taste, so you don't really feel it. So you get to enjoy more of the taste of the whiskey. That's why Sean was saying earlier that especially when you drink whiskey, it's an acquired taste. I have not met one person that tried whiskey for the very first time in their life and that they said that they liked the taste because your palate is not used to that type of like bitterness. I was also telling Sean, I've told you on many different
Now,
occasions.
Keep in mind, all of this does go back to cigars because it really is like that whole. People think cigars, they think like the one thing. That's what I was saying earlier, man. Most people that I know that smoke cigars basically smoke aged dog shit. Like they want that like that real cured like dark. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't understand that myself, man. Like that is like Joaquin was talking earlier about wanting to wear goggles inside a cigar room, and it's
Yeah,
like
man.
Now another thing
That
that
shit
you
burns your eyes even if you're
another thing that you need to understand, like when you actually go to a cigar place where you can smoke inside, they have air ventilators that basically like thin out the smoke. That's one thing,
Yeah.
and take the smell away. Another thing that you need to know about cigars
because they're weaklings.
is also, again, I go back to what I was telling you earlier. When you smoke a real cigar, like real cigars are not supposed to make your eyes burn, make you not be able to breathe.
You know what, man? You're using the what is it? The no true Scotsman argument here, man. You know what I mean? Or the idea that like there is as much variety in cigars. Well, I mean, all right, as far as you can get, like with tobacco. But to be honest, there's quite a variety in the flavor, the say the curing process, the pungentness. What's the word I'm looking for here? The causticness, man. Like, yeah, man, that's one of the reasons I don't like those old cigars, man. Because like when that smoke gets on you, man, like even in your mouth, man, there's.
Well, that's with the aged ones, but like the ones that have been like aged and everything, you get more of the rougher taste of it or whatnot.
Yeah. It's caustic is really
And
the right word
it's
for
normally,
it, I guess, man.
I mean, I don't want to say that it's because they're old or whatever. I'm not talking about the cigars. I'm talking about like normally the people that really enjoy those type of cigars are like older people, like my grandpa.
Because they already can't breathe, dude.
Well, maybe, but
Well,
I don't know
hey,
why.
let me throw a theory at you, man. You brought up the Black and Milds and that earlier, man. To be honest, man, I know quite a few people who got into smoking cigars through Black and Milds or
Well, yeah,
Phillies.
because
or,
I think that's how we all started at one point. I mean, you started with Swisher Sweets. You started
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Black and Miles, and then you like me, you figured out, hey, there's more. Maybe I could try it, figure shit out.
Yeah.
Kind of like wine. I was never a wine drinker, but everybody that drinks wine has told me that you have to you have to find your taste for wine.
Yeah.
And I completely agree with that. The thing about me is that I've tried a couple different wines and
Yeah.
it doesn't do it with me.
I feel you because like
Yeah.
I like wine, and I think it's like music where you have to find that one band to introduce you to like a whole genre, and then you start getting all the other stuff that you didn't get.
Yeah. Now the reason I put it in that perspective is because going back to the cigar and the whiskey, again, it's more of an experience and you're going for the taste. Once you build that palate for the whiskey and the cigar, it's. I mean, I'm sorry for lack of a better word, but it's like it's delicious, bro. It's and again, it's the experience, and for me, and this is something like some people don't understand, but it was even like relaxing. It would relax me, and it would de-stress me. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like marijuana does, but like I said, it's a different experience.
Yeah.
And going back to the other thing that I was telling you about, like that it makes you nauseous. That's what I wanted to point out. That's how you know when you're smoking like a real cigar. When you smoke a real legitimate cigar, like you're not supposed to inhale, because if you inhale, that shit will make you nauseous.
And again, I'm going to push back on you a little bit there, man. I'm not saying you should inhale every hit, man, but like just my own practice, man, I'll usually inhale one of the first hits. Like once I get the cigar going, again, this is why I like green.
I happen to get lightheaded when I do.
That's exactly why I do it, man. Like it kicks off the, you get that nicotine right into the system, and from that point you can just maintain it by getting it through your mouth. You know what I mean? The I forget what that's called, but anyway, that first like kind of just pull on it, man. That's the also how you know like you're getting what you wanted, man. Because like more than once I bought what looked like a fresh, green leaf fucking cigar, and like you start smoking it, and all of a sudden you realize like that thing is stuffed with basically floor sweepings, and yeah, man.
There's and the other thing that you also want to know, man, honestly, there's also people that do it for the look. I've known plenty of people that buy a cigar, carry a cigar, and smoke a cigar. They don't even like it, but they just do it because of the pure look. Like you were saying earlier, like I don't understand. I never understood like what the whole point was like behind that, because I've never done anything just for the look of it, or like, oh, I'm gonna look cool, or I'm gonna look this way. Like everything that I've ever tried or done, I did it for like my personal enjoyment.
Right.
So I mean I don't understand what the whole like it makes me look good or whatever it is that people
I can see an argument for the aesthetic, like all right, like kind of what we were talking about before we started rolling, man. But the idea of like, okay, a cigar room where you go in, you say maybe you have the glass of whiskey and whatnot. You know what I mean? Like a nice glass, something with like cut, the diamond cutting on it, and like a nice cigar with like maybe a big like chunky fucking ashtray. One of them old school motherfuckers you can beat somebody to death with, and like
Madman stuff.
Yeah, low lighting, comfortable fucking chairs, and you just sitting there like fucking gentlemen.
Yeah,
you know
dude, like it looks boss as fuck, bro. Like,
but here's the thing:
act of smoking a
if
cigar.
you take somebody into that environment, they kind of, because we have that mythos behind that shit, like in our heads, just from pop culture and whatnot. You know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe you didn't grow up on the movies I grew up on, but I think everybody has a general sense of like, okay, this is like some backroom, it's got a vibe to it. That's what I mean about the aesthetic. But what I'm saying is it puts somebody's head in a state of mind of like, okay, this is what we're going for. Like, don't get me wrong, there's always those people you take into that environment, they're still going to act like a fucking rambunctious jackass, but whatever. People will talk quieter. People, it doesn't elicit like a fucking high level response from it. What it almost, like you said, it calms you down. It puts you in like almost a lower wave. You know what I mean? Like you tune yourself into that, because you can't be loud and rambunctious like when you got a burning fucking stick in your hand and a big heavy ass glass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think again, some people you can't take into that environment. I found that out the hard way more than a few times, getting thrown out of places because I took my motherfucking drinking buddies to some places we shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, and honestly, man, I was just busting your balls earlier, bro.
He was.
But
he was being serious.
It's not for everybody. Just like going back to me with the wine thing, it's just I figured out that the wine thing wasn't my thing. For the people that don't know, like you're hearing this from a fucking experienced alcoholic, and now I quit and I'm
He
sober.
tried.
Yeah, like I'm sober as shit now. I've been sober for 8 years now, but yeah, I used to drink a lot. So it's just like the vibe, the feeling, and the taste. You're going when you're smoking a cigar, like you're going for the taste of it and stuff like that. And it's as a whole, the cigar with whiskey, it's an experience. And it's the same thing of going back to the whiskey. What I wanted to say was, when it's like a bourbon and it's been in a, I'm not even gonna fucking lie, I made my mouth water. When it's a fucking bourbon and it's been in a barrel and it's been aged, I feel that because it made it more concentrated, it makes it stronger, but it makes it smoother. There is people that do not like the final burn when it goes down your throat. So when you have a really nice aged whiskey, like for example, Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark, man, for whoever has tried it can attest to this. When you drink that, man, it's smooth. It's smooth as fuck. But it's a sneaker. It'll sneak up on you, man. You drink about 3 or 4 of those, and you'll be straight. Figuratively speaking, because literally, yeah, you won't be straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's and it's an acquired taste. Like I was saying off camera, I've never met somebody that tried whiskey for the first time, and they were like, "Oh, this shit is good." Like you have to get your palate used to it.
Now, the extreme bit of that would be I have run into quite a few people who tried whiskey that first time and never went back.
Yeah, that too.
Usually what it was a matter of was somebody, Evan Williams or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
With basically shoe polish. I mean, what is it? Paint remover is what I was looking for. I don't know why
Yeah.
shoe polish. If you tried to polish your shoes with Evan Williams, they would probably melt, and your shoes would stink.
Huh?
But
like what I wanted to tie around with that was because me and Sean have had this conversation off air. Now, well, I mean, since I've been on this fucking like lifestyle diet or whatever the fuck it is you want to call it, I don't drink as much coffee anymore. But I used to be a real big coffee drinker. So what I figured out, I actually discovered because I didn't know it was gonna work that way. I got attached to drinking straight black coffee. The reason, and this is how you know when you're a fucking alcoholic, the reason I got I don't want to say addicted, but attached to drinking straight black coffee is because when I drink that black coffee and the last kind of bittersweet part of the, like when you take the sip, it reminds me, and it kind of tastes a little bit, or maybe it's just my mind, but it tastes a little bit like when I used to drink Jack Daniel's straight. It left me with that bittersweet taste, so it kind of reminds me of it, and it reminds me of it because I liked it.
You think like the health benefits of like drinking are like are real, like what they publicize in the
Yes.
media and in publications?
It is real. This is the thing, though. This is the thing that a lot of people don't follow and don't understand. When the doctors, because there's medical professionals that have been doing this shit for a long time, when they tell you that you should have one 12-ounce can of beer in a 24-hour period, that's what's healthy. You know what I mean? And the reason that it's healthy is because of the alcohol concentrate in the beer and part of the yeast, because you're not intaking it in large amounts. When you intake that into your system, it actually really helps you with your digestive system. It helps you with your blood. It helps you regulate your blood pressure. If you have lack of oxygen going through your blood, it regulates that too. And it actually strengthens your heart as you're actually.
These are all things that, like, according to these statistics, that alcohol like hurts. You're saying that
again.
Yeah.
That's also true, but we go back to the very first point I made. That's why they're like, and you can look it up, like on Google it or whatever. But they do say that that's why it's important to do one beer or one glass of wine like a day, not two, not three, not a six pack. When you do it, now this is exactly what I don't know, like for sure. I don't know how many. Like I said, I've only read articles that state one 12-ounce can of beer or one. I think it's 8-ounce glass of wine. Um, if you do more than that, then that's when it's not good because you're amplifying. Basically, what you're putting into your body, you're amplifying it, and then that's when it makes it bad.
That's just bullshit. I'm looking at that. It says that it improves your cholesterol.
So what's bullshit?
May reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes.
Yes. So what's bullshit?
I don't know, man. It's just hard to believe.
Well, you know what?
No.
The reason, hold on. The reason it could possibly help with the diabetes is because your body's literally burning the alcohol instead of the sugar.
You hold on, time out. You need to explain real quick what's bullshit. I'm missing the connection.
I'm just it's just hard. It's just hard to believe.
What I'm telling you, or what the article is saying.
From what both? I mean, because both you guys listed nutritional facts for beer that I didn't think were correct, and I mean, because it just I don't know. In my mind, it doesn't make sense. Like, how can drinking?
Now keep in mind, the beneficial nutritional beer is not fucking Miller Lite.
No, hold on, time out.
Okay, so like, what kind of beer would that be?
No,
like a dark lager?
No.
Like
that's not even. That's an
IPA.
Again, that's why you have to. That's why I said it at the very beginning. It is the amount per serving that you have in a 24-hour period. If you have any more than that, you are not going to get the beneficial health benefits. Now, another thing that you have to keep in mind that people don't take into account, kind of like you're doing right now, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with questioning it and not believing it or whatever. What I'm saying is, like, the other thing that people forget is that beer, wine, and liquor have alcohol. When you introduce a small amount of alcohol into your body, you know what that does? It acts as a fat burner. So people, because of the way we're designed in our digestive system, we have fat. We genuinely, because of the shit that we eat and shit like that, we have fat in our blood. We have fat on our body and stuff like that. When you introduce a small amount of alcohol, it acts as a fat burner. So that clears through your bloodstream, and that's why it lowers your cholesterol. Another thing that they recommend, and you can Google it, is when you wake up in the morning, and I'm not advocating this, I'm not saying wake up tomorrow and start doing this shit. Do your research, make your judgment call. Do not go off of what the fuck I'm saying.
Yeah, dude, because it's like, it's a myth, man. It's I looked it up right now, and it just, the way he explained it is like, instead of burning...
From where?
Yeah, it doesn't burn
From
fat.
Recovery Village, a group. I guess it's like a recovery group for alcoholics and stuff like that.
Well, exactly. They're not gonna tell you that from a recovery fucking
Freddy,
website.
you're going off of a misunderstanding. It's not that it burns fat.
Yeah.
What it does is it takes calories to process the alcohol, and while it's doing that, your body is burning the alcohol, which is not causing you to build fat.
But you're not burning fat.
It's not gonna make.
I didn't say.
But
Men's Health is saying that it actually might slow down like your metabolism.
Oh,
like
it does.
Yeah,
man,
it does.
But look, man, let's make a clear distinction between alcohol and all of the subsidiaries such as beer, wine, liquor, whatever, man. Because if you're talking straight grain alcohol, all right, vodka, which I am a proponent of.
That's where I was going, but you didn't let me finish.
My point being, man, is there's not. There are components to like these different things. Like wine is good for you for a completely different reason than beer is, man.
Something that I forgot.
Yeah.
For these like benefits or whatever for you to get, you're supposed to stay away from dark liquor. It's the like, again, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
With what Sean said.
Like I see the medical benefits of wine.
like vodka.
Yeah, but doesn't dark liquor contain certain minerals?
It contains sugar, and
Sugar?
that's what fucks with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
how-
why you have to stay away from dark liquor.
Does that include like rums and stuff like that
Yeah.
too? Like,
Oh, rum is pure
No.
sugar, man. Rum is the devil's
Yeah.
juice, man.
Yeah.
are you for real?
Yeah. Man.
That's why it's so tasty.
Why do you
huh?
think so many pirates were missing a leg?
Exactly.
diabetes? Are you for
Exactly. Yeah, man. It's,
Yo, pirates were just like old school truck drivers, dude.
You're taking just a
Missing
bottle of
eyes, missing feet. You seeing a connection here?
But I still drive.
yeah, man. Yeah, rum is not what you. But going back to
Yeah.
the vodka, when you drink, we go back to the same thing. What I was gonna say was, they recommend that you take like on an empty stomach, either depending on your tolerance to how long you've been doing, either one shot or a half a shot on an empty stomach, and then again. That I don't know about the. I
Are
don't.
these like
I-
for hangover
I-
cures?
no,
I mean,
no, man.
That's like
I don't know what you got or where you read from, like the slowing of the metabolism. But when you take a one shot of vodka on an empty stomach and then you can have like breakfast or whatever, what that's supposed to do,
yeah.
it's supposed to stable your stomach. Like when you wake up and you got like the bubble guts or whatever, it actually like balances your digestive system out because
I think you're describing hangovers
No,
and like the cure for hangovers, which
No.
is drinking more.
no, that's completely
'Cause
no.
it's-
That's not what I'm. That's not what I'm going. That's not what I'm
Yeah.
going towards.
I know that it coaxes like your esophagus lining. So if you have like a sore throat,
Yeah,
if
but
you
that's
have,
only gonna be for an hour.
yeah. I mean that's what my dad would say.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
only
it was
gonna
an
be-
excuse to drink.
So it's not a cure.
yeah.
Well,
But
actually,
is it
I think
good?
it's warm brandy. It's supposed to be what's really good because
Yeah.
you get a little bit of sugar, but also
He would do tequila. Like a lot of people
Yeah,
in my
that's-
family would do
yeah.
tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But do you guys know about the health benefits of wine?
It's, Isn't it most of what I just described to you?
Well,
But
it's like
the
on another
heart-
level because of the grapes. Grapes are naturally antioxidants.
Okay, here's
Yeah.
the thing though. You gotta
Yeah.
be a constant wine drinker. Either that or a
Exactly.
raging alcoholic for that to build up.
And
Yeah.
you also, the other thing that you got to keep in mind with
Yeah.
wine is that and again, I'm not a wine drinker, but
Yeah.
you can attest to this. There's a lot of wines that if you don't watch, they have a shitload of fucking sugar in them.
Well, those are more
So-
like wine coolers than
No,
like
no,
they
no.
are
No, no,
wines.
no.
Wine,
There's
Talking-
wine,
wine
actual
has a
wine.
lot of sugar in
Yeah.
it, but also you got to worry about a lot of the U.S.
Yeah.
wines have sulfide in them. Actually, a lot of wine,
Yeah.
period, has sulfides in them.
I don't know. I
Now, this is the thing. Another
Yeah.
thing that I'm going to say, going along with what you just said. If you were able to get a bottle of wine that you saw somebody like
yeah.
squish the grapes and they ferment that directly from grapes and there's nothing else added, that shit will work. But the wine that you get at the store,
I'm not talking about those wines. I'm talking about like real wines. Like you were saying about cigars. You know, like
Yeah.
there's real wines
Yeah.
that actually go through like a natural fermentation process.
Exactly.
That actually
Exactly.
creates a lot of it. There's no sugar. Like sugar actually speeds up the process of like yeast and beer and like all these other things. It does the same thing with wine.
Well, the idea with like a lot of wine is you're taking a complex sugar that's in the grapes that's
Yeah.
going to take a long while to break down.
Exactly. So it goes again. What
There's
you're
a great
saying about
conversation on Rogan's podcast with what's his name
Maynard.
from
Yeah.
where he kind of goes into some of that
so
stuff.
all I want to say is what you're saying about wine is you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm telling you is when it comes to wine, and again, I'm not a wine drinker and I never was, but the only thing that you got to watch with wine is like the sugar content. If you can find basically
I'm just gonna say if you get like a Moscato, that's not wine. Those are like the only wines that I know that are in high like sugar content.
well, Merlot is actually kind of
Yeah. See, the thing is with Merlot, it doesn't
And-
taste sweet, but it has a lot of sugar in it.
And the other
Yeah.
thing is, and again, I'm not a wine drinker. You may be able to correct me, but from what I've heard, also when you want to stick to wine for the health benefits, I've heard that you also want to stick to white wine. That's what I've heard. I don't know how true that is. that you don't want to go with the
Yeah.
dark colored wine for the same reason that you don't want to try to get health benefits from dark liquor, like cognac.
Yeah.
Cognac has a shitload of sugar.
It all depends on the grape, you know. Like a lot of the grapes that they use are sometimes they'll mix grapes up, and it'll be like a Pinot Noir and a Malbec, and like they'll mix them up and they'll create like a certain blended wine.
Yeah.
But the grapes are like the antioxidants that actually help the heart produce to pump out a lot of these.
Now, again, that's where you
Yeah.
have to be doing that on a daily basis,
Yeah.
or you have to be drinking large amounts of
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like, I haven't had medical proof, but I've heard from people that are doing it, like maybe like three times a week,
But there is that
like,
that's
consistently.
And also, if you're
Yeah.
looking to get that benefit, what you might do is look for a lower alcohol wine.
Yeah.
I mean,
now that's the thing though.
because
that-
the health benefits of alcohol
No,
and the health
no.
benefits of wine, two
I
different
don't,
things.
I don't want to stray of what people that are listening or watching from what we're saying. My
Get
main-
drunk and smoke
my-
cigars. That's
my-
what we're trying to say here.
My point is that there is proven benefits in drinking alcohol and wine and shit like that. But the thing is that again, it's the amount you have to keep on a daily basis. And again, from the studies, and I'm gonna research it again tomorrow or whenever I have time. The thing is that on a daily basis, from what I've read, you should not consume more than 12 ounces of a can of beer
Yeah.
or 8 ounces of a glass of wine. And that's daily. If you consume any more than that on a daily basis, then you're throwing out all the health benefits basically out.
Well, you're not throwing them out, but like you're getting problems in other places because of the amount of alcohol that you're
too.
taking in. And again, if you're some giant bitch, 400-pound, 6'8" looking motherfucker linebacker, you probably drink a little bit more than that and be fine. You also got to look at the carbohydrate, again, the sugars, the carbohydrates you're taking in, and no joke, the sulfides in wine are a son of a bitch, because I've had a couple buddies that were actually allergic to sulfur, and like I had to keep that in mind when choosing fucking the drinks for the night, man.
No, man. There's weird people like that are allergic to like alcohol in general, like sometimes hops.
Yeah.
It's just poor
Like and to cap off that part of the conversation, if you
Shit,
really
you ever
just
seen a beer drinker find out they're allergic to hops? They want to cry.
Yeah.
if you ever want to lose weight fast, just cocaine's the way to go.
I was gonna say, man, that whole one drink a day thing reminded me of this story that a drinking buddy of mine told me, and he was like,
I was fucking with you. People don't do cocaine. I don't advocate for that.
seriously, this guy, with a straight look on his face, he was like, I knew this old man one time. He told me he'd get up in there every morning and he'd do one bump of coke, and he said this with heartfelt emotion, and I walked away from that and just went, bullshit, that motherfucker's getting lit all day long.
For sure.
That's
dude.
why I never understood how that was it. The mayor of New York that was busted.
You talking about Marion Barry?
Doing
He was
a
a
whole
mayor of
bunch
Washington, D.C.
that he was doing a whole bunch of cocaine, but that he was really fat, like 300 pounds or 200
Oh,
pounds.
you're talking about the Ford from Toronto.
Yeah. So this dude was smoking crack, but he was 250 pounds or whatever.
Oh,
and,
he
and-
was more like
Yeah.
350.
And D.L. Hewley had a great joke about that. He was like, man, this dude was, busted for smoking crack, but he, there was crackheads on the street that wanted that crack because they were like, did that crack come with fries or some shit? Because,
Oh no, dude. We were talking
Crack and
about this.
poutine.
Yeah, man. There's some people that just are wired differently, bro. I think I've seen people.
I've
And-
actually met a 400-pound crackhead.
Yeah, man. People that just I guess it's a thyroid issue where whenever they do coke, since it just hypers everything up, it hypers their thyroid to where they just want to eat.
Yeah.
This is,
Okay, I can admit this.
I think that's how you know you have ADD.
I can admit this because I've done my share of drugs
If
in
you
the
do
past.
coke and feel normal,
Hey, you just found the cure to ADD.
fuck Adderall.
I just I used to do drugs or whatever. I mean, but I don't do them anymore. But I don't. But
I
the
used to
reason-
do drugs too. I still do them, but I used to as well.
But the reason I point that out is because it's funny how people say that they would do like cocaine or whatever, and they didn't have an appetite. Bro, I still ate like a motherfucker when I would do cocaine. We would go to Whataburger like at 4 a.m. I would stuff my face. So I never understood.
Well-
But like you were saying, I do believe that there's people that are just wired differently. So,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they just didn't. Another thing that I'm going back to the cigar talk. Cigar back to like cigar and whiskey. My friend's grandpa, he's like 65, 66 years old. This dude likes to have a glass of whiskey straight with his cigar, and you'll have like a 12-ounce piece of steak. Now here comes the catch. He's eating this, he's drinking the whiskey, and he's smoking the cigar. That shit, I was like, bro, one's fucking up the other. Like, what? You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna lie. I've had a cigar with a meal before, but it was almost like it's like, all right, fuck it, we're doing this. You know what I mean?
Like a
But I
last
mean-
meal kind of deal.
Nah, just like fucking like you're forcing it's almost like when you're drinking and fucking like when you get more than 3 drugs in the mix, you know what I mean? Like it's that Hunter Thompson line, when you get a drug collection going, the urge is to push it as far as possible, you know what I mean? It's like hedonism is basically where you're trying to go with that scenario, you know?
Okay.
It's like, dude, some like fried chicken, a cigar, fucking glass of whiskey.
At a strip club.
Yes. I like where your head's at, Joaquin.
Yeah.
And I think I know where we're headed after this.
Yeah.
You were saying, Freddie.
I blanked out there after
He was
said that.
hey, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I'm just wondering if we lost him at the strippers or the fried chicken, because motherfucker's hungry.
Yeah.
Both, I think. Don't strip
Hungry
clubs have a
and
buffet?
thirsty.
You know?
And thirsty.
Don't strip clubs have a buffet?
Yo, Stilettos does. Shout out to Stilettos.
Shout out to Stilettos for the buffet.
Yeah.
And only the buffet.
Yeah. Because y'all need to work on some shit.
Yo,
you know?
don't go during lunchtime, man. They have like ugly ass strippers.
Don't go during lunchtime with the ugly ass strippers and the fish buffet.
By
'Cause
the way,
you're not sure where the smell is coming from.
in all fucking seriousness, the best fried chicken wings I've ever had in my life were at a strip club, and it was not a nice strip club. It was one of the dirtiest motherfucking strip club. It's closed down now, probably because they forgot to pay their cocaine dealer.
Exactly. I have a quick question since y'all brought that shit up, and it's a serious question because y'all are old enough and y'all been around for a while. No joke, the best strip club you've ever been to. Whatever country, whatever city, doesn't matter. Best strip club. Sean? Oh shit, y'all both got the thinking caps, huh?
I'll give a shout out to a local place, man. It's not like this anymore. This was a used to be.
I haven't been to a strip club in like 6-7 years, so
I haven't gone as a regular. Like I've been recently, but it was one of these like I'm hanging out with a buddy and we're like, fuck it, man, let's go drink over here, type of thing. But Exotica's used to be a really nice place. Like it was. Let me put it this way: this is how you know it's an upscale strip joint. The lights are on. You know what I mean? Not like bright lights. I'm talking about like they put some money into the lights. It was like, spotlighted and fucking like had like a vibe to it. It looked like a corporate club.
Yeah,
you
like-
walked in there and there were motherfuckers wearing suits, having drinks, getting lap
No, for
dances.
sure, yeah.
yeah.
I literally went in there with a corporate party. Like my buddy was like, "Hey, me and these guys from work are going down there," and it was a mixed crowd too, man. It was the dudes, the chicks. It used to be that kind of joint where you could walk in there, and it was, you didn't feel like you were in a skeezy fucking hole in the wall.
Yeah, yeah.
And to be honest, man, I don't think there is a market for that place down here because that shit did not last. Do not go to Exotica's right now expecting to get that results.
Oh, my friend used to get in there for free, bro. It's fucking. There's a lot of coke, bro. A lot of coke with the strippers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
Nah, I would say like the best one I've been to was like this one in China, in Hong Kong,
Ooh.
and it's like it wasn't really a strip club. It was more like a brothel
Damn.
where like the strippers would come show you, like they were stripping for you, you know, but they were showing you and like going over the menu with you, and if you didn't like them, like you could just like shush her off, dude, and then another one comes by and goes over the menu. You could just be standing there or sitting there in the booth, like just getting stripped on, you know, like getting a lap dance, getting like titties rubbed on your face, and then you could just go through the motions of telling her, oh, how much that, and then you could shush her off and then get another girl on you.
So this was a brothel.
It was a brothel, bro.
Nice.
Yeah, with a 3D menu.
What's the best strip club you ever been to? A brothel.
Pretty much.
Yeah, dude. Pretty nice. I saw a couple guys getting blown underneath the table, bro. And it just reminded me of like whatever they would say about hair metal bands in the 80s. Where they always had a girl underneath the table.
Should like, I don't know. Nah, maybe I shouldn't. I've been to a strip club here where I saw somebody.
Getting blown underneath the table.
Yeah.
I was like,
And I told
yeah.
the stripper that was with me.
How much for that?
I was
that's
like
what I want.
that right there. And she was like, I don't do that. And I was like, well, you're kind of wasting my time.
You gonna have to talk to Candy.
You better lead me to whoever does.
Yeah. And she was like, yeah. And I told her I did, but I mean, I was drunk. I told her, I was like, no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're wasting my time.
Yeah, you were too fucked up to negotiate a brokerage fee.
Yeah,
But
fuck
like
that.
you gonna have to introduce me to the individual who's performing.
You know
these
what was
services.
fucked up too, dude? Like what you see at strip clubs, and I didn't notice this until the last time I went to the strip club. But a lot of these girls, dude, like you see guys like dancing on them close to the stage, and sometimes these girls like I guess they feel confident enough with the guy, but they'll let him like lick on them and suck on like certain body parts, and then you see him out on the floor doing the same thing with the guy with like a private lap dance on the floor, you know? Like how much of that shit, like how much diseases.
Yes.
There was a story, and I think I told you.
I'm still down, but
I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but
yeah, I might Germex the titty. Dude,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Every gambler knows they're gonna lose sometime.
Yeah, dude. You just gotta spin that wheel.
I had this conversation with Sean a while back. It came out on the news.
Not about Windex and titties.
It came out on the news where this guy, and again, I'm not gonna, because it happened here. I'm not gonna mention the name of the strip club. But somebody works there that we know. Yeah, don't say it though. What happened was this dude was getting a lap dance from a girl in the back of the club, and I can't even say that. I was about to give the club away, cause it's yeah. Anyway, so he was in the back getting the lap dance from the girl, and what she did, because I guess they were both hot and ready to go or whatever. This dude literally started fingering the chick, right? So he fingered the chick, whatever, and he leaves. Later, he found, I guess later, because I don't think you're gonna find out right away. The dude got AIDS, because I think he had a cut on his finger, and he got AIDS from like that, or he said that he got AIDS from that, and he sued the strip club. I don't know if he won, or I don't know what happened after that, but I do know that did come out. In
Jesus, I thought this was just going to be another jolly event where somebody got crabs in their beard.
I thought someone was gonna get laid. Like actually, like peeing with G.
Laid 6 feet down.
Yeah, pretty much, bro.
As we have discussed before, there are treatments for HIV that you should seek medical advice.
Yeah.
And stop fingering strippers,
at
dummy.
this point, it would be better to get AIDS than diabetes.
Yo, what's the craziest sexual like story you've heard, dude? Maybe
I've told you this before.
Can you want to say it on the air? That maybe that didn't happen to you, but it was like a buddy that.
Oh, it happened to me.
It happened to you.
Yeah.
You want to talk about this on the air?
Yeah, I can tell you real quick.
Yeah.
I was 17, I think 18, 19.
Yeah.
It's from 17 to 19. I was in Mexico. Shout out to Reynosa, Boys Town. Before I continue with the story, I did not fuck a prostitute. I was with my girlfriend at the time, right? And we were out bar hopping because you know how it is bar hopping there.
Yeah, you know how it is. You just wind up in Boys Town.
Yeah, so
Bar hopping with your girlfriend.
Yeah,
Does she work there or what?
No,
she work there?
no. Let me tell my fucking story, dick. So we're bar hopping and we're with some other friends. It was 4 of us in total. So and we were there, whatever. So we were drunk. We were well into like drinking and we were having a good time. So my girlfriend at the time, she was horny, and she was telling me, she was like, I want to do it or whatever, and so on and so forth, and then we didn't have anywhere to do it. Like we just, and then so I told my friend, I was like, hey man, can I borrow the keys to the truck? And he was like, no, bro, we need to leave together. I was like, I'm not leaving. I just want to borrow the truck. And
Not leaving, I'm coming.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not leaving. I'm coming, homeboy. So that's a good one. He was like, and he caught on real quick. He was like, "Oh, bro, no, you're not fucking in my back seat. I just cleaned my truck. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna happen." I was like, "Dude, and he was like, "Dude, there's a hotel up the street." But my alcoholic ass, I wanted to keep drinking. I didn't want to spend money on a hotel. You know what I mean? So we were drinking, whatever. So we were walking up and down Boys Town. So, you got the hoes or the working women, whatever you want to call them. No disrespect. They stand outside those little rooms. So I go up to one of them and I was like, hey, how much? And this is exactly what I said. I said, how much for the room? And she was like, oh, well, give me 40 pesos. And we can do our business for 20 minutes. And I told her, I was like, look, no disrespect, I don't want to do anything with you. I have my girlfriend. We just need a room. And she was like, what the fuck do you mean? And then I was like, yeah, I just need to use your room, not you.
Does she at all think that you and your girlfriend wanted to like sleep with her?
Let me finish. So then she told me, she was like, bro, I'm not lending you my room so you can fuck somebody else and not fuck me, basically. And I was like, I'm still paying you what you're asking me. The only difference is I'm not going to fuck you. Like, that's the only difference. So she was like, I'm not doing it. So we just kept going around or whatever. We asked another one, gave us another bullshit story. We come back around. And then she was like, hey. And I was like, what's up? And she was like, you still need a room? And I was like, yeah, well, we want to use a room or whatever. And then she was like, does your girlfriend like women? And I was like, and I look at her and I was like, nah, she doesn't roll that way. And she was like, no, like I don't. She was like, oh, because I was gonna say, if she likes women, well, we like you can have the both of us. And I was like, well, nah, she's not down like that, right? And then she was like, and I was like, let me just use your room and I'll pay you double for what you're asking me. Right? It was still cheaper than getting a hotel. So I was like, let me just use the room or whatever. Nah. And I was like, look, what's it going to take? Like, let's work something out. So the last thing she said was,
Can I watch?
I'll let you use the room if I can watch. And then my girl at the time was like, nah, fuck that. She was like, you know what? I'm not even horny anymore. That's exactly what she said in front of the other bitch. And then she was like, I'm not even... And then I got mad and I told her and I was like, see, bitch, you fucking up my shit or whatever. So then, and then she told me, she was like, give me 300 pesos and you can use it for 20 minutes or whatever. And I was like, and then by this time she didn't really want to do it anymore. And I was like, look, let's just go or whatever. So fast forward the story from that point, I did give her 300 pesos and she let us use the room. But I'm not gonna lie, she actually like knocked like 3 times after a while.
Oh, for real? She gave you like warning shots to say, hey, your time's coming up?
Yeah, she was like,
hey, kicking you out.
Yeah, she was like, hey, you gotta. And then what really made me speed things up was she was like, I mean, I don't, to this day, not that it matters anymore, but I don't know if this is what she meant, but I understood the last time she said something, she was like, she said something along the lines of like, hey, like, hurry up because like my pimp is coming or something along those lines. I don't know if she really had a pimp or whatever, but she was like, "Hey, somebody's coming" or whatever. So I was like, "All right, whatever." So I paid her the 300 pesos and I did my thing. I think that's about the craziest. I think other than the other one that I told you about, the family restroom in at the movies. But yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I
told
remember
you.
that, yeah.
Family restroom at the movies is very useful too.
Hey man.
I've never
shout
done
out
it.
to all the family restaurants out there. You know, dude. Giving people an opportunity to do their thing. In public
I've never
places.
done it. I've never done it how a lot of people claim to do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't figure out a way how you can sustain an erection doing it like that. What I'm saying is,
Yeah.
a lot of people have claimed. My cousin, I'm not gonna say his name because he's married, but I'm not saying he does that now. But my cousin says that he's done it a bunch of times in the back of the theater in the movie, like full blown
I've seen
sexual intercourse.
Never participated, but I've seen it.
Yeah, man.
How the fuck does that? How?
If the flesh is willing, the spirit will take you there.
Yeah, especially with those recliner seats, bro.
How though? Like, so you don't mind other people watching, basically?
Nah, dude. Sometimes you don't. I mean, if you're with like someone maybe you're not too proud of though, and you don't want to see people like with you like fucking this like big ugly chick, you know?
Say it's your girlfriend.
What do you mean?
No, I'm not saying your
Oh, like-
girlfriend, but say that person is your girlfriend.
Oh, I don't know, dude. I think my girlfriend's hot, dude. I wouldn't want people.
No,
I don't
I'm
wouldn't
not
mind.
talking about your girlfriend. I'm saying in general, say
Oh.
that person was your girlfriend.
Oh, if my girlfriend was hot, dude, yeah, I wouldn't mind, bro. People seeing her. You know?
Yeah.
But if she was like kind of ugly, dude, no, fuck no, dude. I'd be ashamed of that, dude.
Also, this is probably the kind of thing where like both parties have to be all in on this shit.
Yeah.
You
I
can't
don't
have
know,
somebody halfway.
I don't know.
on that
I don't
scenario.
know. So like, does she just sit down or?
I mean, it's like regular sex. Like, have you ever had sex on a chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's
Just
what
like
I'm saying,
that, dude.
sit
It's
down.
just like that, dude. You just sit down, or she sits down. But she gets a little closer. And you kinda,
I like the way that he's painting the picture.
you know, and you're kind of just there smacking your balls on the end of the chair.
yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the part where everybody starts to hear and watch.
What?
What about the kids?
You don't go see a kid movie, bro.
Bro,
And
I've seen kids that rated R movies.
Bro, when you go do stuff
Then
at
it's not your fault.
when you go do stuff at a rated R movie, or when you go do stuff at a movie theater in general, bro, you go during like school hours, dude. You don't risk kids being there,
Oh
dude.
shit! All
That's
of
also
a
like,
sudden, Joaquin's an expert.
yo, dude, no, dude, no joke. And there's also no people there. Think about how many people are working during those hours too. Like if you go around 10 o'clock in the morning,
Word.
I think first showing is like what?
Like
10,
11?
Like, yeah, 10,
11?
10 or 11, dude.
Yeah.
No one's gonna show up to that. Old people, dude, and then those people sit way in the front.
Look, I think of it like this, man. I have smoked like bowl after bowl in a movie theater. Just never been harassed. Granted, I don't do that anymore. I'm a responsible adult, but you know, if I can
How
get away,
does that make you irresponsible?
there's a little bit of a. If somebody gets a hair up their ass and calls the cops,
Yeah, you don't
you're
want
gonna
to
have a
offend
problem.
anybody, dude. You know, you don't want to
Really?
be. Yeah, dude.
You
No,
don't-
man. It's about respect, dude.
Well, it's the same thing. Dude, if you're fucking in a theater, you could catch a fucking charge on an indecent,
indecent exposure.
exposure and what is it, lewd acts or something like
Yeah.
that. I know Texas got some weird ass laws like that, but
Also, the other one.
But you can't I mean, unless it's stinky people, you can't smell people fucking, dude.
Yeah.
bullshit.
You know, so I think in a
No.
movie theater, the popcorn
I
smell
agree.
kind of
no.
overpowers.
I agree. I agree with what Joaquin is saying. If you are both clean and you just at least showered at least 4 or 5 hours ago, it's not gonna smell. If anything smells, there's something wrong with somebody.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. Now, if you haven't showered in a day, that's a different
Yeah,
story.
dude.
Yeah, if you haven't showered in a day, it's like, well, fuck.
And plus, you could be silent about smoke. I mean, there's no hiding the smoke.
That's not what he's
And,
talking about.
Oh, what are you talking about?
He's talking about fucking, right?
No, he was talking about smoking weed, like how he used
At this point, we're just talking about the same. Look, all I'm saying is, man, like
Yeah, put us in check, Sean.
Like,
Yeah.
no, you were talking about going at, pick a good time. There's not going to be that many people in there. Go to an early showing, go to a rated R movie just to be sure, and do your little bunny rabbit impression. Whatever.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, hell,
I mean, if you do the same
you
thing,
go to one of those theaters where you can lift up the fucking the armrest. You're solid, man. You're solid.
you lift up the armrest on a whole row, bro. Imagine that shit.
I love my job.
Yeah.
That doesn't pay me a dime yet.
Let's work at movie theaters, bro. Just catch people fucking.
Why would you want to catch them? I'd rather participate.
You rather? I don't know, man. I just like to watch, dude. I don't want to ruin their thing. Yeah. I don't want to cock block anybody. Bro.
I've caught. Have you ever? That's
just
another.
picturing Joaquin going by with a broom, just sweeping, just like, don't let me.
That's
get
another.
in your way.
Yeah, just throw those condoms on the floor.
That's another good. That's another good question. Have you ever caught somebody fucking publicly?
Fuck yeah, dude. Well,
Where?
not publicly, dude.
Where?
I used to cat whenever I was in extracurricular activities at school, like UIL and stuff like that. I would catch kids fucking on the bus on the way back, dude, and I always envied them.
Fuck, that's crazy.
Nah, but I've never like.
The real question is, have you ever called anybody out?
No, dude, I've seen people get giving.
No, why would you do that?
I've seen that too, man.
No, dude, no. I would just appreciate.
Dude, you bring up the bus scenario. I've been in that. Yeah. Like I remember a couple times where it was just like, "Oh shit, they're back here," and it's like, "Shut the fuck up and sit down."
Yeah.
Let them bust a nut and chill the fuck out.
Just enjoy it, dude. Just
yeah, like I one time.
If anything, you stare at them until it gets awkward.
Yeah, dude.
One time I caught somebody and it was by mistake. I didn't even know there was anybody back there. But behind a Peter Piper.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
I've done some stuff.
They were like going at it, bro, like outside behind the Peter Piper.
Yeah. No, dude, no. I didn't catch it, dude. But there was a girl in my school who was in 8th grade, and she was dating a kid who was in 9th grade, right? So it's like a great difference. But one's in high school, one's in middle school. Well, there was this bowling alley. Shout out to that bowling alley in Zapata. But there was that bowling alley in Zapata, dude, that like everyone used to go to. They would put up signs say, "Hey, please don't flush cocaine baggies in the toilet."
What?
It was that kind of bowling alley, and little kids would go there, dude. Well, this girl was giving that guy like head, dude, behind the fucking bowling alley. I didn't see it, but I was like, bro, that would have been something to see, dude. As a little kid, because I was like in 8th grade too.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
There ain't much to do out in Zapata.
Not really.
Shout out to Zapata. A lot of girls get pregnant young there.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want to find yourself your next wife, dude,
Fuck no.
start going to the graduations, man.
Fuck that. Yeah. From cigars to fucking and brothels and
I think is this like our Vice episode? Your guys' Vice episode.
yeah. And today for Bouncing Brains, what is your favorite vice?
To be honest,
Sean's
we're just kind of concentrating.
Sean's like, I'm gonna shout out to Rockstar. I'm gonna stick to Rockstar.
Oh, that's just my socially tolerable vices.
How many cans of Rockstar do you drink? Let's say like a week.
That's
Sean.
a week?
Yeah.
Nah, in a day. I want to know a day.
Average it out, man.
Don't lie.
No, I'm saying like, look, because when I drink Rockstar, like, look, I haven't drank Rockstar for like a week, and then like we came in yesterday and came in today and recorded. I've had 4.
4 today?
No. I had 2 yesterday and 2 today.
Oh.
So usually, like, depending on the week, like it varies.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so like maybe this week you might have like, let's say, like 6. You might have 6 this week.
Yeah, I might bring another 2 in when we record again.
And that's like at the most that you might have in a week, right?
Yeah, if I had more than that, like it would be like an extraordinary event.
Yeah. Okay.
I think
what do they cost?
Oh no, that was
like,
Freddy. I was telling you about that time I got pulled over for speeding after having downed like 6 of them.
Oh shit!
I got out of the car looking like a fucking, I like that stereotypical, like, what's the problem, officer?
Yeah.
Dude,
No.
like seriously, like they looked down at my leg that was shaking and looked back up at me, and I was
Are
like,
you, they
I
must have
am-
thought you were on something.
I just said caffeine, and the guy kind of goes, and he walks over to my window and looks down, and there's just like a little rock star graveyard on the passenger floor. And he was like, okay. You be
Dude,
careful.
But like, how much money do you throw at Rockstar, dude? Like, think about it. Like, shout out, like Rockstar should hook you up, dude.
Oh, dude, Rockstar is
Word.
cold-blooded, dude. You
Yeah.
can't even get a bulk discount if you purchase online, dude.
Are you for real?
I looked into it, man. Yeah.
Oh, dude. I mean, let's kind of shoot a little promo for you and Rockstar,
Dude,
dude.
they don't need it, man. They make mad gash, man. Rockstar does not give a
We're
fuck.
trying to get a sponsorship as
No,
well.
I'm. Hey, I'd be right there, man. Look, if anybody from Rockstar is listening to this,
You throw mad money
much
at them.
love.
You're fueling their marketing, their department. You know that, right? Your sales. You're the true hero here, Sean.
You saying I'm an actual influencer? Is that what's happening here? No.
No.
But
Maybe
no,
we
man. I don't even think they need to spend the money on this shit, man. I've never seen Rockstar go out of their way to fucking advertise. They just. I think they. This is true capitalism, my friends.
Yeah.
Good fucking product. Sell it at a price that you're like, fuck you. I'm not giving you a discount.
how
We ain't
much-
doing sales. Kiss my ass.
How much is it?
$3.
You know what I'm gonna
Maybe
do,
you
man?
can find them for like $2.50, maybe $2.
I'm gonna get you a Rockstar hat.
So you can be a real rock star.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm
I
joking. I'm
used
not,
to
gonna
be-
do that to you, dude.
I used to
yeah.
be I used to be really addicted to Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Like I used to go through about 4 Red Bulls a day. That was before I got into coffee.
I'll be honest, man. If it weren't for like if you blind taste tested like somebody who'd never had like a Red Bull before and showed them just like Red Bull and like a myriad of other selections, man. If it weren't for the marketing, Red Bull would not be where they're at, man. Like that as well. A perhaps not shining example of what market capitalism can achieve, man. If you sell your product with the right image and then send motherfuckers up in hot air balloons to jump from the stratosphere and, you know, they got those crazy ass boat races.
Dude,
and-
they're like dominating. I think as far as like an energy drink that's promoting extreme sports, I think they're like one of the more versatile like energy drink companies.
yes,
they're
but
like-
their product sucks.
It does, dude, but if you look at their athletes, like the athletes that are working working for them, they get like a really good package. I think they're making maybe their product does suck. Their branding is tied along with their like extreme sports like people that they sponsor. So it could suck, dude, but they're spending top dollar on these athletes, getting them like physical therapy after every stunt. They're constantly like they have to go to like a gym to go work out or see a physical therapist to ensure that they keep putting out content.
Well, I mean, Red Bull alone,
Yeah.
off their products, they are $1 billion industry.
Yeah, man.
So they got money. So
Yeah.
it's not like, and that is like chump change compared to the revenue that they bring in.
Yeah,
Like what they're spending on like these therapies or whatever.
yeah,
And I'm pretty sure that they also got like a big ass fucking insurance like policy.
yeah, dude. Like
So-
I'm pretty sure most of them do, but I've heard of, dude. I haven't heard of any like energy company going on to like having facilities where these people could go. Like maybe they throw them like a check for. Like
I've also heard, and don't quote me on this, I don't know how factual it is,
yeah,
but I've also heard that there's been a couple of cases that have sued Red Bull because somebody consumed Red Bull and they died. So they took them to court, the families or whatever. And
why are you laughing?
the astonishing point to this is that everybody that's taken them to court, I don't remember how many cases it's been, but everybody that has taken them to court for that, no one has won a settlement.
To be honest, man, that's kind of like I remember a story like years ago where like they tried to tout it as like the first time somebody died from smoking weed, and what it was a couple dudes sitting in a motherfucking like apartment, I guess, man, who got so fucking baked that they sat there for like 3 fucking days or something, and one of them lost like blood flow to like his legs. One of the other dudes started getting like a bed sore type of shit. I think he ended up dying from like some gangrene or something.
That's just from laziness, dude.
Yes, these idiots were sitting there for 3 fucking days.
Yeah,
like
dude.
it's not like this was extreme.
Yeah, man.
I'll be honest, the perverse part of my mind was like, how much did they smoke?
Like the other thing that's crazy is like with like I said, nobody has ever won like those settlements for like those deaths
Yeah.
or whatever. But I mean, and people like were like some people were outraged of like how they didn't win, whatever.
Yeah.
It's funny how they were so much outrage about that, but cigarettes have been killing people for years, and people have died because of smoking cigarettes. And it's still a multi-billion-dollar company.
It's all American, man.
Yeah,
This country
exactly.
was built on tobacco.
Yeah. Now the other thing that I want to tie to that is that I don't know if y'all know, and maybe somebody can fact check me on it, but I heard, and I also want to say, I think I read in an article that I think it was Marlboro just invested, I think it was something along the lines of like 10 or 12 billion dollars in the cannabis industry, because they're going to start making cannabis products. And what I'm tripping on was that I think that in a couple of years they're actually going to stop selling cigarettes. I don't know if they're going to stop selling tobacco products, but I think I heard that they were going to stop selling cigarettes. And I think they were going to go cannabis based. I don't know how true that is, though.
I'll be honest, I think the tobacco industry could probably use from a trimming, like, because right now, not trying to make a pun, but right now, you have to look for quality tobacco. And I think the
I don't think there is any
quality tobacco.
other than like, I believe, and you might disagree with me on this, but other than like American Spirits.
American spirits are good,
yeah,
but I mean, look, man, I'm a fan of Buglers as well. I mean, I know they use additives, but yeah, man, you can find a good cigarette, and you can find good like rolling tobacco, pipe tobacco, all this stuff, man. But like, I think the cannabis market is a great example of they were basically forced to put out the highest quality product possible. Like, not to say there's not garbage weed out there.
Yeah.
But you could tell garbage weed from like garbage weed, like garbage weed from good weed.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
you just like
It's not that hard.
But there's also a stratified market where it's like that you just pay less for
You know where
less
it's
quality
difficult.
weed.
Yeah.
You know where it's very difficult to
No, but
find
yeah, go ahead.
shitty weed.
Where?
And I'm not saying that you won't find it at all, but it's very difficult. California.
Nah,
It's
dude, I've like Mexican brickweed still comes through California.
But it's kind of hard to run into it.
I mean, I never smoked bud when I was in California. You know, I mean, I have visiting California, but when I was like stationed there, because I was stationed there, I mean, I couldn't smoke weed. But you would see all the time kids smoking like Mexican brickweed. It was more like a kid thing, you know.
I'm telling you, because the 2 years that I
Yeah.
lived there, I smoked some shit I smoked some shit that was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
I'll never forget God's Gift,
Yeah.
Sour Diesel, and there was this one strand, bro. They claimed, I don't know how true it is. They claimed that it came like it was rooted in Afghanistan or whatever, but it was called Hindu Buddha Kush. And I don't know what they put in that weed, but
Is that even like a real strand?
Yeah.
Let me look that up.
yeah, look that up. It's Hindu Buddha Kush. I think it's what it was. Hindu Buddha Kush. But I don't know what they put in that shit, but it was awesome. And I even think it might have been what's it called? A hybrid.
Most likely, man. That sounds like.
Yeah.
I mean, a little factoid.
No, it's an indica.
Oh, you found it.
Yeah, I found it. It's a fucking hard ass indica.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know, dude.
And that's what I was gonna tell you. You know, the only downside. So when I would smoke that, was that it would make me like really paranoid. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, and you're gonna think I'm fucking crazy. But like when I would smoke it in large amounts, like when I would smoke like a full blunt, or like a blunt and a half.
Yeah.
I would, and I know it's crazy, but I would start like hearing stuff that wasn't there. And like I was high, so like I've always been a very strong-minded person. So like within my high, I knew that there was nothing there, but I swear to you, I could still hear it. Like I could still hear.
Yeah, man. Auditory hallucinations are totally possible on fucking pot.
Yeah. So, but it was the shit. Bro.
You could hear auditory hallucinations even off of pot, dude. If you like stress your body, like
don't tell me that.
lack
shit,
of
bro.
sleep,
I live
dude,
alone,
stress.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
I live the fuck alone.
dude.
Anybody else ever done one of those like long car drives where you just hunched over the wheel going, "Shit, don't fall asleep, don't fall asleep."
Google God's gift.
God's gift.
Yeah.
You find my picture.
What kind of strain is it?
I believe that's also a hybrid, but it's more of it's got more of an indica balance.
Yeah, man. A Kush is likely to couch lock your ass, man.
Yeah.
Nah, dude.
Not
Straight
all
up
of them.
indica again, dude. Like hardcore indica.
Yeah.
It's got OG Kush in there, but that's like an indica dominant hybrid.
Yeah.
So it's got like
That's what I just told you.
and Granddaddy Perp.
But that
That's
shit,
some
bro,
assassin weed right there.
that's the with that weed, bro.
Yeah.
I remember my friend passed me the blunt, but he had been smoking since, because we lived 30 minutes away from work, where we work, like 20 minutes with traffic. He would start smoking, like driving out of the parking lot. So
This
he was
motherfucker showed up with Kush for breakfast.
pretty much.
God damn.
So he would smoke like from the point that we left the parking lot. He would start smoking. I wouldn't start smoking at that point. Right before I got to my apartment, I would start smoking. I literally took 3 puffs of that shit, and I was done. This dude was gone too, but he was like high functional still. You could tell that he was baked out of his mind, but he was still in the. And I would tell him, I was like, "Hey, Chris, you all right, man?" And he was like, "Man, I'm blowed, man, but I'm good. I'm good. I'm about to high five Jesus right now." So yeah, those are. But my favorite was blueberry yum and sour diesel.
Yeah, dude, I've smoked both those.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sour diesel and sour diesel. The what I liked about it the most was my productivity level and my creativity.
Yeah.
That shit would spark. And I'm telling you, bro, there is jokes that I wrote that I can only thank weed for, because I would go back the next day and read the jokes sober, and they were funny.
Yeah.
But I could never, I would have never thought of that sober, ever. So it was it would really, and then it would help me concentrate.
Yeah.
Like if I was to do something, I was 100% concentrated on that, and nothing would distract me.
Yeah.
And it controlled my ADD.
Yeah, a lot of people don't bring that up, man. They talk about the laziness, but
exactly
the hyper-focused productivity.
So on a side note, Texas, hurry the fuck up.
You know what I want to say though, dude? I want to play devil's advocate here because this isn't something that's being talked about a lot. But
I think we've had this argument, and I think I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Marijuana resin is some of the most cancerous things that you could put in your lungs, dude. like the tar and shit that is left at the end.
It's shit,
joint.
yeah.
Like that.
That's why
shit's-
you should never smoke roaches.
No, dude. No.
That's
no.
why people that put roaches in bong water.
Yeah.
That's the most horrible thing you can do.
There
The
was
fuck?
You never seen people do that?
But,
Yeah,
like-
I've seen people
No.
put a shitload of roaches in
I've
bong water,
done that.
and
Dude.
then they smoke.
Yeah. Hashtag low rent.
I just smoked the roaches, man.
What do
Yeah.
you mean?
Like, why would you put roaches in the bong water?
Not in the bong water, in the bong. I would put them in the bong.
in the
Like,
bong.
smoke
Oh, in
'em
the
in the bong.
bong.
Yeah, smoke them in the
Yeah.
bong. Instead
Yeah,
of burning my
yeah.
hands, just put them in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
it's god awful, but yeah,
Hey, if you're running low,
Yeah, if you're running
Yeah,
low,
dude.
bro, I mean,
dude. I used to have a
it's
golf
like
ball.
the natural light of weed. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not kidding. I used to have a golf ball size thing of resin sitting in a refrigerator at
yeah,
one point.
man. Yeah, I mean, and
It was,
that
was just a ball of desperation and evil.
fuck yeah, dude.
Have y'all ever?
But that shit's cancerous, dude. That's actually led to some people having lung cancer because they accumulate. They also smoke cigarettes. Most of these people smoke cigarettes mostly.
Mm-hmm.
They're also smoking like blunt wraps and stuff like that.
I've never.
So
I've never.
blunt wraps because they have nicotine.
Yeah.
You know, like
Right.
this is like added, and plus the resin. That's a super dose of like cancerous
See, now here's the
carcinogens.
funny thing. They've found that statistically, people who smoke both cannabis and tobacco usually have less incidences of lung disease and cancer because the weed acts as what is that called? It helps to stimulate the alveoli or whatever the fuck it is in there, the little hairs, to clean out the accumulated crap from the lungs. So all of the debris kind of gets pushed up to the top. You cough it out and phlegm, all that shit. So you got to be smoking a shitload of fucking
Well, it's like a thing that accumulates over time. Like you
Right.
have because your lungs, they have this natural mechanism to heal themselves. That's why
Mm-hmm.
sometimes in the morning after you smoked a lot of cigarettes or a lot of weed in form of joints or blunts, you cough up this nasty gray stuff. Like
Yeah.
this nasty gray mucus because your lungs are shedding that old like lung layer down, dude. That's that mucus layer that's just coming
and then
off.
it reproduces.
Yeah, it reproduces new. So if
Yeah.
you don't give your lungs a break to like regenerate that other layer, then you're never like you're just gonna keep having, and that's what leads to pneumonia. A lot of people don't know that.
right.
You gotta like smoking if you're not smoking
So
smartly.
I'm not. Before I say this, I'm not saying I'm condoning it.
Yeah,
But basically,
Smoke it in a bong,
but
dude.
basically, what you're saying is, if you smoke one cigarette a day, you'll be fine.
that's not what I'm saying at all. That's actually, I mean, I would tell you to like, I mean, it's your choice, but I would try to inform you that there's safer alternatives.
Like marijuana.
No, like vaping. I mean, it's the lesser of two evils. You know, you could also like what's it called?
You do know it still causes cancer. Right?
It does, dude. But at the rate, like maybe 1/4 the rate of cigarettes.
There is no evidence to show that vaping causes cancer. There is.
I want to say I did read a couple articles.
It's got
I'll look
it's
into
got
it again.
nicotine. If you want to say nicotine, because nicotine
Nicotine's not cancerous.
Yeah.
it's not cancerous, but it does affect your body, and it has there's no studies that show what is it like hyperlene, not the hyperlene glycol, whatever, the vegetable glycerin.
There are
There's nothing-
problems with that, and there's also
Yeah.
problems with the additives deteriorating
Yeah.
over time and reacting with each other to
And then
cause
if your liquid
byproducts.
has nicotine salts, I believe that's another some different sorts of like stuff that it has, like different additives and
right, but if you're talking about just taking nicotine in
Yeah.
through the vaporizing process,
I think because there's no real big study done on it that's been pushed to like everybody. I think it does.
I think
like
I think
everything
it's
in-
you're clouding the waters. It's kind of like arguing that like the what was it they were putting it the additives that they were putting into cigarettes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, all of that crap is bad for you.
Yeah.
Like tobacco is not great for you on its own,
Yeah.
but like for the most part, it's not. Tobacco won't kill you unless you're abusing it.
Yeah.
Like it's not like some deadly fucking evil that's gonna. I mean, personally, I'm a proponent of the idea of every once in a while you got to stress the body a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you drink a little bit more than is necessarily required.
Is that like a formula to like live life, or is it like?
Well, I told you
Yeah.
about
So?
that. I told you about that war veteran. Remember
What was that?
the war veteran that came out on the National Geographic.
Oh
that
yeah,
is
dude, where
106
he smoked a cigar.
Yeah.
But I think he was.
No,
saying
he wasn't smoking a cigar. He was smoking weed. Remember?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you weren't there. There is this. There's one of the last war veterans from I don't know what war. He's like 106 years old.
No, I think
And-
that was the black guy that was from Texas.
This
Yeah.
the guy from Austin?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy from Austin.
Yeah,
And
he
they-
smoked a cigar a day
was-
and fuck. I
But he
forget.
also smoked weed.
No, he didn't.
I don't remember him mentioning
Yeah.
weed.
Maybe they didn't show it, but he didn't smoke weed. He showed him that he smoked cigars. He still drove his truck. He ate ice cream, and from what it looked like, he was still fond of his wife. I'm not sure if she's alive, but I think he's boning.
Yeah.
Did you like hear what's it called? I guess what he was saying as like in regards to growing old. Do you think that's like naturally what old people's like view in life begins? It's like
Not everybody's.
like I lived my life. If I die, I die.
Not
Now,
everybody's.
Some people get wrapped up in that shit, man.
My grandma to this day, my mom's mom,
Yeah,
she's still in denial. Like she doesn't want to die.
she doesn't want to die.
And you know what her fucking biggest worry is about dying?
Yeah.
Her biggest worry, and this is gonna sound retarded as fuck. Her biggest worry about dying is who's gonna keep my stuff? Are they gonna take care of it? Really? That's what the fuck you're worrying about if you die? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but she doesn't want to die. She says that she wants to be around a long time.
What do you think happens? I mean, what are your guys' views on afterlife? Is there an afterlife?
You really chose at this time to want to go into that. That is a long.
I mean, just like summarize what you believe. Don't go into like a whole.
I believe that there is
You believe that we continue on in the afterlife?
not necessarily continue on, but I do believe, and I'm gonna give it to you in a nutshell because that's what you asked.
Yeah.
I do believe that there is a heaven, there is a hell, and there is God. So, to further my nutshell, I do believe that there will be judgment day. Some people will go one direction, other people won't,
Okay.
and that's that.
Respect.
There's bigger explanations as into why I believe that, but like I said,
Yeah.
we don't have the time.
Yeah, maybe we could talk about that later in another
Yeah.
episode.
Sean,
I'm a pantheist, so I like
What?
it's all the same thing, man. Like
what the fuck
Maybe
does that mean?
like the energy that drives every single molecule of existence, every single wave pattern of the material of reality is the same thing that's inside of me. So maybe I stop being me, but it all stays here.
Did y'all hear that shit again from Eddie Bravo today?
Nah,
No, I saw it was on.
That-
As a matter of fact, I
that-
saw it and I was like, Freddy's gonna love this.
Fuck that, bro. You gave me a headache again.
Why do you listen to him then, motherfucker?
Because I can't stop listening. Shit.
You love to hate this guy, dude.
I don't hate him, dude.
You
It's
just love to like hate his ideas, dude.
No. I don't hate them. They're just
Yeah.
the
I'm just
fact
picturing
that somebody.
Freddie having a break at work, just fucking like, this motherfucker's so much. Y'all listening to the audio, you can't see me making the masturbatory motions, but just have that in your head right
Yo,
now.
dude.
The thing is,
I could see
he said, Joe. He said, Joe, what if nothing exists and everything and nothing is real? And Joe was like, what do you mean by that, Eddie? And he said, what if we are all part of a big ass simulation? And then Joe was like, what kind of simulation? He's like, just a life simulation. What if your whole life was simulated?
Dude, I mean, and there's like a lot of people that believe in that. That's called simulation theory.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good.
or I mean, because it does bring a valid point, dude. You're living here. How do you know that this is reality?
Well, let
You
me
know?
throw this at you. You know how quantum computing works, right?
Can I
Explain.
throw that
No.
bottle at you at your head?
I mean, I'll feel it because I'm present here with you. But what if this is all like?
If it wasn't real, you would
Yeah.
not.
What if
feel
this
it.
is like the Matrix, dude? We're just in those like fucking incubators, in those pods. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. What if we're just hooked up to computers and this is all like a simulation? Because like we're developing technology.
You wouldn't die.
No, we wouldn't die. But that's
So why do people die?
Reincarnation would be something that would happen.
Well, let me throw this to you, man. If we simulated, say, an AI right now,
Yeah.
that AI would not look like us, right? It would only.
No, I push back on that.
No,
it
dude, I
would
think
it
it
would
would, yeah.
look like us.
Yeah.
Why would it look like us?
Because we and y'all are gonna push back both of you on
I think
on
creators have a.
I'm not talking about an avatar. I'm talking about the thing itself.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because
Like Ex
and
Machina
try
kinda
try to follow me on this. Like
no, you're thinking robots, man. Okay,
the human mind.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about creating a machine that can replicate.
Yeah, I got you. That I understood what you said.
Okay,
What I'm saying is, the human mind. There's only so much you know. You don't. This is gonna sound weird, but try to follow me on it. You don't know nothing outside of the unknowing. What that means is, we belong in a planet. We belong
Yeah.
in a galaxy. We have stars. We have a sun. We know that there's other galaxies and everything that we've researched, right?
Mhm.
But we researched this and we've learned this through research and through human knowledge. My point that when we create something like this phone was created through an idea that somebody got
Yeah.
through something else. My point to this whole fucking rant is that if you do not know that something exists, you never knew
Yeah.
from the day that you were born, you never knew that whatever that thing is or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it, because it has no name. If you never knew that it existed,
Yeah.
you cannot create it.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what he was saying. You cannot, everything that we create, going back to your AI, the shit that you said.
Just get to it, bro. Come on.
If you go back to creating that, you're always gonna create it to the image of what you know and what you've seen, because you can't create something
Yeah.
that
okay, you're falling into a trap here, man, where you're assuming that what you're trying to create is something that can live as we live in the environment. What I'm saying is, man,
even if it doesn't.
if you lay out the parameters where you go, okay, I need this thing to be able to follow logic chains.
Mhm.
I need it to be able to.
And you can do that.
Hmm?
You can do that.
Yeah, you can. But the part that we haven't quite gotten past yet is inspiration, the spontaneous nature of human thought.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if you created a simulation whose sole goal was to produce a conscious entity, there is nothing that dictates, as far as we know, maybe there is, but as far as you go back to the whole unknown bit,
Yeah.
there is nothing that should dictate that it will in any way resemble us or our existence. So what I'm saying is, if we are in a simulation, if we are lines of code, there is nothing that dictates that we would resemble at all what reality looks like.
I
don't. Yeah. I don't
push
think.
back on that
Yeah,
because
dude. No, to be honest, dude, I don't think we actually look like what our bodies look like. You know what I mean? Like
No.
our true souls and stuff like that.
Well, no, you're assuming that we exist. Okay, again, we're
Yeah.
for the moment taking simulation
I
theory
see your point.
seriously. There is we have nothing to go off that says that we exist outside of the
Yeah.
simulation. We could be the NPCs of somebody's massive multiplayer sandbox.
Yeah. If you guys could think about it like this, okay, the wall behind you guys is like blue, right?
Mhm.
So if you close your eyes and you look at that wall, or you turn off the lights and you look at that wall, is it still blue?
yes,
But can you see it blue?
No.
But you know it's still blue.
Yes.
How do you know?
You know
You
why?
can't see it blue.
Because again,
can't trust your
it goes back.
senses.
It goes back to what I said earlier. Because I've already
You're starting to look like
because
Eddie Bravo, bro.
because I've already seen that wall before, and it's something that I already know. I only go back
Yeah,
to
but-
I only go back to Sean's point, which I agree with
Yeah.
you as well. You cannot create or simulate something that you've never known. So it goes back to what he said at the beginning.
If a bear shits in the woods, can you smell it? If no one's around, can you smell it?
Are you there?
If no one is around and a bear shits
Not-
in the woods,
even
can
not
you
you.
smell it?
No. If
No.
you're
Now,
not
the
there,
real
no.
How do you know
Question
he
is,
shot in the woods?
Does it matter?
You wouldn't know. It's the same fucking question
Yeah.
of like the tree.
And by the
If
way,
a-
that
if a-
always
if
assumes
a-
that there's not other animals
If
around.
if a tree falls in the woods and you're not there, does it still make noise? The answer is yes, because noise does not, like, you don't own fucking noise. You're just not gonna hear it.
But how do you know it happened?
That's a different part of the question. The question,
Yeah.
the original sole question was, does noise still occur? Noise still does occur.
But if no one's there to like actually pick up on the noise,
It still
Does it still occur?
It still occurs.
how do you know?
Because it's fucking, I don't know the right term, but it's science, it's physics or whatever the fuck part of
Okay,
science
but
that is.
take this, man. There is no function of nature outside of hearing that would be able to respond to that.
I get it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Like in order for something to happen, it has to happen. But not only that, there has
to be a witness.
there has to be a reaction to that happening.
Okay, by
you
the
know?
way, that whole tree falling in the woods,
Yeah.
that's a Zen koan.
Yeah.
And the whole point of a Zen koan is that you can answer it in an infinite variety of ways.
Exactly, yeah.
And there is no true fucking answer.
I disagree.
No, but seriously, there's like no chance that if like something happens, right? The only thing that makes it happen is people have to remember it happening. People have to react, build a memory on this happening.
So if there
Okay,
was
but
no
here's the
memory,
thing. What
Yeah.
about physical evidence, though? If a tree falls in the woods and it rots there, if you come
There's
across
a
it,
memory imprinted physically.
and
but-
this is
so
why
then
I'm a
it fucking did
pantheist.
happen.
But I mean, but
but it did happen.
something remembered it. The ground remembered it. The tree remembered and stayed down.
The
you know.
point is your original point.
Yeah.
It did happen. You do not have to be present for something to occur or not occur.
I don't
Just
think maybe
because-
you, but I think something has to be present.
No, I
A
disagree.
tree falls, the ground has to
Okay,
be present.
so let me tell you. Okay,
for
so
the
let's
tree to be
let's
caught.
let's take
Is nobody
let's,
considering that the
let-
tree was present?
let's
The
take
tree was. I
No,
mean,
no.
the tree could have never been
Let-
present,
let-
but there's
let's take-
physics.
let's take your
Yeah.
let's take that angle. Okay, since you said something has to be present,
Yeah,
so the tree falls, right?
there has to be a reaction
okay.
for that thing happening.
Okay, so we're not there. None of us are there when that tree falls. But you know what is there?
What?
And there's a 99% chance of it being
The
there.
ground.
No, a bird, an animal,
I think the ground has more of a chance of being there present
Yeah.
for a tree falling
and a bird and an animal.
Okay, here's the thing. All of this is based on questioning the idea of. Okay, think about it like this: how often do you just treat parts of your existence like a function routine? You know what I mean? It's a set mechanism that you do this, and this is what occurs, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people treat other people that way. They treat
Yeah.
things in their lives. The whole point of questioning whether or not the world goes on, whether you're there or not, is not whether the world goes on, whether you're there or not. The real
It's like-
point is the world doesn't give a shit. You can either participate in a meaningful fashion
exactly.
or fuck off.
That's another great point too, which we can go back to your original question of the afterlife.
Yeah.
No, well, it doesn't directly relate to it, but again, try to follow me on it. It's like people that think, and there is people that think this way, and I no disrespect, but I think it's kind of weird. People that think that when they die, let me ask you, when
Yeah.
when you die,
Yeah.
I, for the sake of the example, I don't wish anything bad. I hope you live a long lasting life.
I'm not gonna die because you say.
Yeah, there you go.
I,
So say that you.
Oh, y'all aren't living forever?
Say,
Just me? All right.
say that you die tomorrow, right?
yeah.
Does the world continue?
Oh, for sure.
Why?
Because I'm not the center of the world. You know, like I know very well that there's bigger things beyond me.
And life continues, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So going back to the other thing of the everything from the noise and what you're saying about the reaction and everything,
Yeah.
you do not need to be present for that noise or that action or whatever the case is for that to actually occur.
I'm saying.
You want me to tell you another thing that as and I'm not 100% sure. I'm not even 90% sure.
Yeah.
We might need to check on it because it's science.
Yeah.
Again, from the little bit that I've read and the little bit that I've heard that when there is an explosion, like in order for you to hear the boom of an explosion, there needs to be oxygen present.
Yeah.
So the reason as to why
For most sound.
okay, yeah, for the
No,
sake of
air, period. Sound. The
Yeah.
definition of sound is waves in air.
Yeah.
So the reason as to why I bring that up is if you go to space, I mean, again, I'm not a fucking scientist, but if you were to able to try to make it happen and have something blow up, technically it wouldn't blow because technically there is no oxygen. Again, I'm being very technical.
I think it would still blow. You just wouldn't hear it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
So that's the other angle of the point that I'm trying to make. Just because this is a scientific thing, like you wouldn't be able to hear it because there's no oxygen or no air for it to travel or whatever. But going back to the tree or whatever, I go back to my original point of like it's not like science. Like you yourself, Leo or me, Freddy and Sean, don't have to be present for that action to happen. Like it's gonna happen regardless. If you think otherwise, you're saying that noise and sounds only travels with you.
I think you took my example way too like literal. I'm saying if like no one's there to witness it, take like note of that event. Like if there's no like effect to that action, did it even really happen?
Yes.
If you sit in your living room and like just live like an aimless life, living in your living room, not having a reaction to anything, are you even really living? You know, like
well
that's another
yeah,
another
that's
good point.
something. That's more figuratively, because if you look at it figuratively,
We're figurative creatures, man.
yeah,
if you're figuratively speaking, like you're not living, but you are. You're living because you're breathing and you're here.
yeah.
But you're not living because you're not experiencing. See what I'm
I
saying?
mean it to like the world. Like,
That's what I'm
does the
saying.
world even know that you're living? You know, there's a big chunk of like the population that you're not aware of. It's from what-
that's different though.
you
That-
like have no idea that these people are living out there.
Yeah,
So
but-
to you in your world, there's no
Okay.
these people don't exist.
but that's different.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because that's like social. That comes to relation. Like I'll give you an example.
It's all the same thing.
No, it's not. Look, watch. I see if I can relate this example. We know
Yeah.
Joe Rogan and we know what he does and who he is
Yeah.
because we've seen him, right? Flip it around. Fuck you, I know what you meant by that. Flip it around. Joe Rogan does not know us.
No.
So to Joe Rogan,
we don't exist in his world.
in his world,
Yeah.
we don't exist. So perfect example. Just because in his world we don't exist,
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that we don't exist.
But you see, you opened it up, dude, because there's that probability that we don't exist in someone's world. We don't exist in a lot of people's world.
Probability,
There is this
though.
probability, okay? Like, because you don't exist in their world. So that, I mean, you exist in theirs or whatever. There brings up that question, do you even really exist, you know?
Hey,
Are
look,
you just like a simulation?
this is the solipsistic dilemma. Okay,
I'm sorry, it's a big yeah, you're right. It's a big
there
paradox.
there is always the holdout possibility. You cannot scratch it off the fucking the list that we as individuals, or more specifically one of us, is a brain floating in infinite void that thought up all this shit.
Yeah.
And this dialogue right here is just some attempt to justify the continued existence of this delusion we call reality.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. It's not a very appetizing possibility, because that means one of us is fake as shit. Or actually, two of us would be fake as shit, along with the other 7 billion people that we made up, or that the other person made up.
Yeah,
See, that's the problem with solipsism, man.
So then in your world,
Yeah.
see, it's because that's fucking weird as fuck. And if your answer is yes,
Yeah.
it's weird.
I don't know.
So
Man.
in your world, hold on, in
Yeah.
your world, in Leo's world,
Yeah.
only you exist.
No, dude, I'm a nihilist that happens to embrace Hinduism. So, I mean, I exist.
Answer the fucking question.
So you welcome Shiva. Okay.
Yeah, like I
That's fine, but answer the question.
I exist in the grand schemer of in the grand scheme of one thing. Like I
No,
know.
but from the
that I-
from,
like
from
my
the
con-
logic
Yeah.
the logic that you're telling me,
Yeah.
in your world, only you exist.
No. In my world, I do not. I'm not the only one that exists. I exist, but my existence is like the part of a greater thing. So I exist connected to everybody else that exists.
So how is what I'm telling you, or
Yeah.
what I said 20 minutes ago, like, is it that you don't concur? When I said
Yeah.
that we are part of a greater plan,
no,
but I don't believe,
Yeah.
I strongly don't believe that we're living in a simulation.
I think it is a simulation.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I believe now because I'm a human.
Technically speaking, if you play out the
So
whole,
this is one big ass game of Monopoly, basically.
hey, look, man, I
Without
defy
the
you. I
properties
defy you to read Genesis again
Yeah,
and
dude.
not come away with the idea that Jehovah ran a simulation.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, he even scrapped the board at one point. He was
You-
like, "All right, we need version 2.0 because this shit ain't working."
Exactly, dude. He wiped out the whole world, left Noah and his family, and made them do some real kinky stuff with each other to repopulate the world.
Which is, by the way, how you get a yeast, what do you call it, starter for, say, wine and beer. You got to take a little bit,
Yeah,
put it over here. New batch.
I like how you taught that in. That's
I know how this game's played. I've done this before, man. What is this, episode 48?
48.
Yeah. And by the way, I love the fact that I was trying to genuinely lay out a philosophical argument for pantheism, and you compared me to Eddie Bravo.
Who, me?
No, Freddy over
Oh,
here.
Freddy.
I did.
Yeah, but look, in all seriousness, man, I don't think any of us have laid out any solid arguments that cannot be refuted. I mean, well, no, cannot be refuted and cannot
Yeah.
be substantiated. So, I mean, it's all, we could get ourselves an objective atheist
Yeah.
in here who would just call us all idiots.
I
So-
think that's why it's like it's a topic that everyone has something to say because, I mean, there's like nothing really proven.
And let's be
There's
honest,
no-
if you seriously wanted to know the answer, you'd just go play in traffic.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you guys.
That's what I
Yeah.
told him earlier, and he was like, "Well, no,
No,
He-
you
he-
said it like, just go play in traffic.
no,
that
no,
was me.
no."
That
what
was,
what I
yeah.
said was,
go play on the freeway.
what I said was, give me that bottle and let me throw it at you. When you said that this wasn't reality, if it wasn't reality, you
Yeah.
wouldn't feel it, and when it would strike you, nothing
Yeah.
would happen.
Well, if you take
Kind of
what-
like in the movies.
if you take what like a lot of Eastern religion says is if I was completely facing this way and not even focused on this reality over here, you were to throw that bottle at me and completely focused on what I'm doing, I would not feel it.
Okay,
It
let's
would
try
not.
it.
I mean, no,
willing to
dude,
do-
I'm already
you go.
I'm already privy to that you're gonna throw it to me.
The fact that, okay,
Yeah.
well, in 6 months, when you're not looking, I'll throw it at you.
Throw it at me, dude. well,
Technically speaking, what you're talking about would literally be, all right, like we were talking about salvia
Yeah.
on the last episode.
yeah,
And salvia is the only time I've ever truly experienced this, where literally reality kind of turned. Like it was the way people talk about like fifth dimensional shit, where it's like, oh, you go around a corner and then you go around the corner again. And that would basically be what an extra dimensional space would feel like. Essentially what you're describing, that idea that if you completely abandoned or completely removed yourself from this reality, then him throwing the bottle, you would literally just turn your head, and as you turned, you would disappear and blink out of existence. Or at least out of this existence.
I think psychologically you would. Maybe since you guys see like a physical thing, the physical thing would still be there. But if you completely like...
But you would feel it.
If you completely take
if
yourself
it wasn't reality like in the movies, you wouldn't feel it.
I mean, if you did like a high level of meditation where you seriously let all your senses...
still feel it.
No, you let all your senses go like without you being connected, without your mind being connected to these senses, you would not feel it.
But
but when you came back to your consciousness, you'd still have a bruise on the side of your head.
Exactly. That's where I was going with it. And it goes back to what you said earlier.
Would it though? Because
yes.
Did you have?
Yes.
Did you see?
It goes back to.
All right, no. I can prove this. I
Yeah.
get blackout drunk,
Yeah.
not on purpose, but it happens. I black out when I drink.
Yeah.
I have countless fucking examples of waking up with broken glasses, black eyes, fucking bruises on fucking 70% of my body.
His ass being sore.
No, that one hadn't happened yet. That's the only reason I kept drinking.
Hey, don't leave it. I don't know.
I was like, I still got something on the bucket list. But yeah, man. And so look, man, and that, if anything, the idea of non-presence, I can't. Blackout drunk is probably the closest I've ever come to that state. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
I'm just saying, man, if you so strongly believe that, I'm willing to run that experiment anytime, bro.
Now, here's, again, to keep in mind, it's like the Zen koans. You're not meant to take this shit like 100% seriously. You're supposed to almost indulge in the concept to the point where your brain like can build that pattern. You imagine the impossible thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so then it can't be a simulation.
No, dude, I think
there's nothing that disproves the simulation, man.
It's not. It's never been proven. It's never been tested that this is a simulation. It's never been tested
because you can't
that the Big Bang happened. It's never been like, we don't know. These are all just speculations. These are all like ideas that people have come up with to explain the world. You know,
Cat Williams has a great joke about the Big Bang Theory.
Greatest philosopher of all time.
But he did make a great point.
Because I know nothing.
Believing in the Big Bang Theory is like believing that you can buy a Toyota Camry, park it in your garage, and bang it, and eventually it's going to turn into a Mercedes. That's what the Big Bang Theory is, technically. You're going to tell me that two atoms somewhere in the middle of nowhere, nobody knows where came together?
Yo, I'm going to tell you, two atoms colliding together is how the atomic bomb happened. Then, you know, I'm just saying, don't discredit.
What do you mean?
Don't discredit two atoms coming together is nothing.
No. Hold on. What I'm saying is, two atoms came together, right?
Yeah.
Created this big ass explosion, and then it created this beautiful thing that we now live on and we know as Earth.
Yeah, you completely got that wrong. All of what you just said was just wrong.
Okay.
On every level. Actually, what it actually was, and this is even stupider than what you just said.
All right, I want to hear this shit. So what happened?
There was nothing.
Okay, that's what I said.
No. You said there were two atoms floating around, motherfucker. Okay. There was nothing.
Okay.
And the nothing kind of vibrated a little bit.
Okay.
And like, all right, you know, like...
And this is the Big Bang, right?
No, follow me on this. All right, you know, like with a glass of water, if you like thump on the side of it, you see the ripple like go to the middle, then go back to the outside, and it just keeps bouncing off itself. Well, imagine that happen, only it happened so powerfully and so fast that it just created everything.
Now, do you sound how retarded that sounds?
But do you know how much we don't understand about quantum physics?
Yeah.
It's still.
Yo, I'm gonna judge the. I'm gonna leave it up to the smart people to come up with this. I'm just saying.
They did, and that's what they came up with.
I mean, I don't know anything about what they're dealing with. Okay. All right. Their like workload is much more different than mine. You know.
Look, all I'm saying is these motherfuckers need to put the lab coats down, get a blowjob and a Mai Tai.
Yeah. Come step on my level. But yeah, man. I mean, that's what I believe, man. That's my train of thought on life.
Just quick side note: you suck at sign language.
What do you mean, suck at sign language?
You suck.
Oh, and by the way, just to be clear, there are competing theories about.
I was signaling time.
There are competing theories about the Big Bang thing here. As a matter of fact, there's a great episode. I know we keep doing. Fuck it, man. We should get like fucking a little like graphic that just comes up every time we quote Rogan's podcast. But there is an interview with.
Damn it, Rogan.
Yeah, I know, right? I can't remember the dude's first name, but it's something Krauss, and he's an astrophysicist. And he was talking about basically because of the nature of the expansion of the universe, even if there was something here before the Big Bang or whatever event has caused the expansion of the universe, whatever that was, even if there was shit already here, if the universe was packed to the brim with shit, the force of whatever event occurred to create our universe just blew that shit away. So it could be out there. There could be like a whole nother universe that we will never see because that shit is just going way faster than we would ever know about. So not only is there unknown shit, there is unknowable shit.
But that's true though.
Well, of course it's true.
I don't argue.
What's that worth?
Like I don't argue that.
Who's going to give you 2 nickels for that shit?
I don't argue that. Like I do believe that there's other shit. And you still didn't answer my question, Dick.
About what?
Does God play dice?
No. Man. It's
Yo, we all know he plays craps.
time.
Yeah. Oh, I already...
Yeah. We're coming up on the closeout right now.
Yo, 10 minutes left, dude.
trying to tell you things.
Yeah, dude.
Seriously, you guys can't even see our video producer back here just waving his arms around like he's trying to bring the plane in for a landing.
So I would like to end this
a little to the left and less racist.
I would like to end this on this weird ass fucking note, the way I always end things.
Yeah.
Oh, you gonna make this weirder?
Weirder, yes.
This gonna be weirder.
Yes, weirder. If
you got me, I actually think the whole thing is on the back of a turtle, and it just
and it's moving backwards, but you're moving forward at the same time.
And the turtle fucks.
And if
Oh yeah, the turtle fucks, dude.
if you could do one thing,
Only one.
that the only one that you would know that would change the world for the better, and it could literally happen at the snap of your finger, what would it be?
All right, run me through this one more time. I can do one thing.
One thing that you
I
would
think will change the world for the better.
for the better, right? And
And I can make it happen instantaneously.
Yes. What would it be? Think about it, because the question's for you too.
Shit, you were dropping on fucking Joaquin for bringing up at the afterlife with 30 minutes left to go. Fuck, man. I suppose transmogrification or transmutation?
What does that mean in English?
Basically, the ability to synthesize any needed matter from any given matter. So if you have all you need is electrons and protons, and you can make whatever the fuck you want, like some Star Trek shit. What's that called?
Superpower?
No, not a superpower. I mean like
alchemy.
No, like the technology to recreate, to build matter at the molecular level. So you could literally take hydrogen and build whatever you needed. If you needed food, you'd build hydrocarbons. If you needed, fucking fuel, you'd build hydrocarbons. But no, if you needed fucking diamonds, you'd punch in diamonds, and this thing would basically just accumulate as much matter as it needed and fucking produce the diamonds. Or you'd fucking, food, I guess, would be the obvious thing, or materials. The idea that, like, okay, say we here in Texas, okay, we're in the valley. We got a shitload of fucking caliche, but we ain't got much gold. You know what I'm saying? Well, we could just put this, a bunch of caliche into a fucking...
making it sound like a big-ass fucking video game of fucking Age of Empires.
Yo, this is on this. I mean...
Age of Empires. Did you ever play Age of Empires?
Nah.
I have.
You've never fucking played that?
Nah, bro.
You need to play that shit. So it's fucking addicting.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out, dude. If it's not worth my time.
Yeah, it's addicting, bro. It's fucking addicting.
This motherfucker was asking me the other day,
Hey,
you play
what-
World of Warcraft? I was like,
Bro.
nah, I play old school Warcraft. He looked at me like, ugh, you old.
Yeah. Hey, man, I didn't want to.
I saw the look on your face. I read it. I read it, Joaquin.
What would you
Don't
do?
you eyeball me, boy.
Yo, Daddy's talking. He's looking at me weird.
What would you?
What was I? Dude, I would pull a Thanos.
Half
Endgame.
of you motherfuckers are gone.
Yeah, dude, reset the world, bro. We're putting so much stress on the earth.
Damn, I'm over here trying to save lives. You like, nah, man, just less
Exactly.
life. Just less life.
Hey,
I could roll with that idea. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think the world is doing it already. It's trying to kill off like human life.
You
I think the opposite, man. I think we're given every opportunity. Every time in history we've gone, okay, we have too many people. Somebody goes, hey, I figured out how to grow more food, and we just get more people.
Now watch how
Yeah.
I'm gonna interconnect this without even trying, because I didn't even know what you two were gonna say, and I was already thinking of what
Yo, the magic trick doesn't work if the trick already happened. Right? I'm just saying.
I would do. See, you would fucking kill people. He would save lives. You know what I would do?
What?
I would put infinite love in everybody's heart for everything and everybody.
You fucking hippie.
Aren't you a Hallmark fucking episode? Dude? Just fucking...
Think about it.
Sir, I think I just got
If
diabetes,
everybody-
dog.
If
I
everybody
can feel my foot
Think
rotting
about
off
it.
as this motherfucker is talking.
think about
man.
it. Think about it. If everybody genuinely loved everybody and everything, every animal, every living thing, every plant, you don't think we would be in a better place?
Yo, this should be your Tinder bio, bro.
Listen to what the fuck I'm saying.
I know, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, if you put good energy out there, a lot of good energy out there, you're gonna like impact people in a good way.
Genuine love.
Genuine, yeah. I'm gonna say it for what it really is. It's energy. It's
Hey.
good energy.
I'm not going to make a judgment call one way or the other, but I would like to point out there, every time that I have heard somebody describe a family member of theirs that they love, that somebody that's close to them,
Good point.
that
he
is
said that they
mentally
love.
retarded, they always use the phrase loving in that description,
Yo, dude.
which leads me to believe that love and intelligence and ability not necessarily correlated. So I'm just saying your little utopia might end badly. That's just
I disagree.
Hey, yo,
See, because if you were to love somebody or you were to love everybody, you wouldn't think that. Dick.
hey, because you love him, you would be able to accept that and grow the skin tough enough to accept this guy's
Word.
love, his tough love. Okay.
Positivity. That's what we need. You understand what I'm saying? Positivity.
silver linings.
And with that note, y'all motherfuckers, wasn't real. We don't love each other, but we should. You know what I mean? But you know, if
I'm not actually going to a strip club and drinking tequila with Joaquin after this.
I'm going by myself. These guys never go places with me.
dude, if you let me go with you,
Yeah.
we get special parking.
That's true, dude. You know how many times I've been with you places and I wanted to cash in that special parking,
Word.
but I never have, dude.
Word. So on that note, you can find me across the board on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Freddy G.
You can find me at hatfieldstandup@gmail.com, as well as Hatfield Standup on Facebook and Twitter. If you are watching the video version of this podcast, you can find the audio version at shoutengine.com /bouncing brains. And we're on Facebook at Bouncing Brains Podcast. We're on Twitter at Bouncing Brains. You can find the video version on YouTube under the channel Bouncing Brains. You can also find episodes on Stitcher. And, of course, you can find the episodes premiering every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. at rgvtitanradio.com. Much shout out to Vinny, Fred, and the boys. And I believe, Google Music Play app. You can also find us there. You can't find us on iTunes because that shit's shutting down, motherfuckers.
Word.
All right. Y'all
And
have
to
fun.
to the fuckers that didn't believe me that iTunes was going away, ha ha, fuck you.
Why are you guys looking at me?
You just happen to be behind the camera,
you happen
motherfucker.
to be
That's
behind
just
the camera.
unfortunate.
I
Yeah.
thought you guys knew I had an
No.
iPhone.
Now dim the lights and bring in the strippers.
All right.
Word. Until next time, keep it tight.
Peace.